We good? All right. I think we're good. Refresh. There's my stream. Nice. All right. Cool. I think we're live enough right now. Put that there. And the only thing to check is the chat, because that was fun to try and set up, and I still don't know if it works. So if it works, type something on either TikTok or YouTube, wherever you're at, and then we'll... Yeah. Yeah, it should be good on both. Oh my god, I heard that. Are you shooting with the Osmo Pocket 3? No. This is with my phone. Hi. Oh my god, that's amazing. That actually worked. I have chat now. Yeah, so if you're on TikTok, type something, and then we'll see if chat works in there too. But so far, it's working, albeit it's a little small, but it is working. Oh my god, it's working on both. This is awesome. Hi. I didn't think it was. I don't hate it. All right, so I got an Explorer here. Let's turn this on. We're gonna do the rear half. I gotta peel the back window, and we're gonna do 20 ceramic on it. So first thing, let's get this started. When it comes to bagels, butter, just butter? People do that? I guess I could see that. Crispy and all. Cream cheese for sure. Also, lox on it. That's the best. Why do I have so much trouble on shrinking a windshield? Shrinking is just difficult to kind of learn. I don't feel like I move fast enough when I'm shrinking. I mean, you might not be. Where's all my seal guard? Why don't I have any over here? I have like 100 rolls, and they're all... You get too many cooks in the kitchen. Okay, so I'm gonna tape these. I gotta do back window removal. I feel like I don't move fast enough. Yeah, you might not. It's a balance between your heat. So you need to pause enough to let the film shrink, but film shrinks really quickly. So if you're within, I don't know, like 4 or 5 inches, the film's gonna shrink. You turn your heat gun to high, and you should be pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna tape in here. I think my air is going on this one. Part I'm looking forward to the least on this is those rear quarters. It's legitimately not gonna be super fun. But we'll see how it goes. I think I remember why I don't use this chat app, but I'm not positive. Oh, how is Seal Guard compared to other tapes? It's good. We have a child lock on this because we have children. So I gotta take care of that right quick. Also, headlights. Turn off the headlights. There we go. Surprise. Yeah, so this is seal guard tape. I like using this. Is there tint from the classes? We were gonna find out. No, this tape's been really good. That's one reason it's labeled how it is. How many cars do you use with one scrub pad? Again, panel guard, seal guard. People ain't putting it back. We need some. We need it over by where it's supposed to go. One tool you absolutely need to tint with. A squeegee. The knife. And like a corner card. And a heat gun. You don't need a lot of tools. But you need some tools. People. Why do I get white bubbles everywhere after I tint? Because you unfortunately suck. It's okay. I sucked when I first started. But that's dirt in your windows. So, little dirt specks are going to be full of air. And that's what you're seeing. Like little air pockets. How many scrub pads? How many scrub pads what? How many scrub pads? What's the percent? What's the best percent for the sun? If you're looking to block some glare, 20% is decent. 5% if you're doing like a visor is going to be ultimately the best for blocking that kind of sun. But it depends on how little you want to see. We all suck when we first started. Amen. It's very true. That's why tint costs money. It's because it's tough to just do it. It takes time and frustration and effort. How many cars do you use one scrub pad on? It depends on how grimy. It's like, how many plates do you use a scrub pad for? I don't know, till it looks gross and then I'll replace it. But you can rinse out a scrub pad and keep using it. But eventually you're just gonna wear out the fibers. But you'll notice it just won't be as scrubby. I clean the windows like 3 times, scrub pad, razor blades, and I still get dust somehow. It's almost like it's not your cleaning. Have you ever tried bottom loading? Yeah, I'm just so used to 2-staging. All right. I want to replace the water on my keg. So this has been sitting for a couple days probably at this point. So we're going to release the air pressure. This top comes off. Put that aside. We're going to dump the water out. And then I'm going to rinse this out some and fill this up. How can I prevent the dirt on the windows after I clean it? All the dirt is from your installation. That's where most of it really comes from. Very little of the dirt that's in your window actually comes from just your environment. But people naturally blame the environment. They blame everything but themselves. How do I know if it's fine to leave some moisture pockets? I suggest tinting your own vehicle, and then the more you do, the more you get used to seeing what's okay and what's not. Generally, like, any moisture is going to dry out eventually, but bigger water pockets are going to take forever to dry out. So we'll go through and install on these doors, and you'll see. We'll push out a fair amount of water, but I won't like push crazy hard or anything. And I'll do maybe 2 passes, and then that'll be it. Okay, so we're gonna do the soap. So I'm gonna wait till this fills up a bit. Otherwise, it's just gonna start bubbling up a lot. If it smells badly, if you smell badly, take a shower. Are you using deionized water? No, I'm just using tap water, but this is city water. We're gonna add a DI filter on it, but if you have hard water or a lot of shit in your water, then you're gonna want a filter on it for sure. But if you have decent city water, then you're generally okay. You're awesome. I received my GeoShield 5% tools will be delivered tomorrow. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Glad you're excited. Okay, so I'm gonna put 3 ounces in here. This little cap, this is 1 ounce. So if I squeeze on my bottle, see that fills up? That's another ounce. So I put 3 of those in here. That's 2. Squeeze and swoosh. Good stuff. Punch the like button. Or no, just tap it, that's fine too. The tint keg smells badly. And scrub it out. Like if you use like a bottle scrubber or something like that, that's really gonna be the best way. If you've had the same lines for a long time, air. I forgot air. My air compressor is right here. So once this is filled up all the way, or like up to here with water, slip solution, we're gonna put about 90 PSI in it. It's gonna fill up pretty quickly. My air compressor is just right up here. Just that quiet little thing. Come on, come on. Over here, over here. There, up there. It might be coming from the lines. If you have the... What kind of lines do you have in your tint keg? Do you have like these types of lines, or do you have like the short curly one? What do you mean it's the environment putting the dirt? Shouldn't I be tinting indoors? 1 second. If it's in the lines, then how? Replace your lines. You really can't. Like if you have the curly plastic lines, like the old ones, those would get stinky. But if you have like the Flexilla lines, which is those ones right there, those ones are good. Those ones typically don't. No, what I mean by it's like people like to blame the environment. People like to blame wherever you're tinting, whether that be in a garage or outside or whatever. Most of the dirt that gets into your tint is from the side channels of the door. Even though you clean them 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you need to work on your installation. A smooth installation is going to give you a very clean result, even if you don't clean very well. Okay, so we're going to do these double cut. And we're going to try to do something a little bit special. Everything's working now, but so you can see the cuts better. We're going to do a little closer view. This is where everything breaks. I'm like pretty positive. This is where everything's going to break. All right, I'm going to flip you sideways. And then we're going to do, should we do ultra wide? We can try ultra wide. And then we're going to put you right here. Whoa, crazy. Everything's opposite, that's okay. Same steps. Don't panic. Look at that, see? You guys will be able to see what's going on super well. Let's first grab our film. So we're gonna use a short roll of tint. I pulled this straight out of the box. Nothing crazy yet. I wanna unroll this way across the window. Right like that. So my whole piece of film needs to overlap the window. We're gonna cut off a piece with our knife. What is that? That's probably nothing. We're gonna set that roll off to the side. We're gonna start with the bottom here. I don't like this. See that? You see this? Hang on. We're gonna pull off a piece. It's probably sitting in the box, taking a little abuse. Let me throw on one more piece here. Again, we'll grab a piece. Da-da-da-da. That looks better. Unroll. Take our knife. Cut. Cut. Ta-da! Now we have a piece of film from that roll sitting on here. All I did was spray the window. We're going to take the flat edge. We're going to line it right up on the bottom here. We're going to use that as kind of a rough guide. Now I want to cut off some of the excess up here. Just because this is a lot of overhang. We're using a 24-inch roll of film right now. We're trimming off about 4 inches worth of film. So if you do math there, you could cover this fine with a 20-inch roll of film, no problem. I tend to just buy 24s. So first cut we're gonna do is gonna be on this side here. We're gonna poke out our knife, so it's just that little bit. We're gonna find, here is our seal. We're gonna trim about 1 inch below the top, first click, and then cut straight down, but your knife is gonna be angled outwards. Tear away. I need a trash can here. Then we're gonna shift this over. We don't have to shift it very far, right about there. And we're gonna come back over to the other side. We're gonna make the same cut. Just gonna go, first click out, and then we're gonna go straight down. Ta-da! So what I mean by your knife angled out is when you're making your cut, you're cutting against the glass, but you want your knife tilted out away from the seal just a little bit. So you're using the seal as a guide, but you're not digging into that rubber. Okay, and let's shift this back over. And then now we have a little bit of overlap on this side, a little overlap on this side, and then we're gonna shift this down. Right like that. The camera is currently backwards. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna fuck with that today. We'll have lots more of these demos if I figure out a shortcut to switch the camera back and forth really quickly. But as soon as I switch it to me, it'll be normal. We're gonna tack it, so we have a little overlap on the bottom, little overlap on the sides. So we need to cut the top edge of the window now. So I'm going to roll down my window just a few inches. Let's put this roll back so I don't accidentally hit this. I thought I'd be able to see my screen a little better like this, but I can't. All right, for the top edge, you just want to go from one side clean to the other. I'll put out, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about like 3 or 4 little clicks out, just so you have a little bit more blade to rest. Hear that? That's a plastic knife hitting the glass. When I make my cut, plastic is gonna hit the glass because you're holding the tint right against the glass. Now, whatever angle you hold it, you're gonna take your knife, you're gonna tilt it forward a little bit. Whatever angle like this you hold it, just make sure you keep the same angle. Poke in, hear that, hit, and just try and keep your hand steady across. Right like that. Tear away, tear away. There you go. You just made all the cuts. All the cuts. And now let's take this over to the board, and we're gonna finish our trimming. So I just took it right off the glass. I didn't twist it, turn it, or anything. So this is my bottom. These corners, on these sides, you see how far my cuts are right here? I'm just gonna follow that cut up. But this is where I started my cut here, put my finger here about an inch down from the edge, and then started my cut, so it was like right in here when I started it. But I also had that excess film that was tucked up into the top, but that's okay. You're just taking that straight side cut and you're continuing that all the way from the top to the bottom. Same thing here, all the way top to the bottom, right like that. So now we need to just round the corners. And then this is our top edge. This is where we want to be kind of like the most careful. You want to continue this cut straight over and make it as seamless as you can. So we got a little bump. We're going to blend it and then slightly round. And then same thing for this. Now, personally, I cut to my strong hand side. So one thing I can do to make this blend a little bit easier for me is I'm just gonna flip this and I'm gonna make this cut again, follow it in that direction, and then round that corner. You can always trim a little more off. You can't add tint back on. But there we go. We got our window. We're gonna put it back here. Now, next step is we have to shrink it. So I'm gonna do a snap shrink here. It's just efficient, a little bit more advanced, not too crazy. Sweep out some water here. You see those fingers popping up in the middle. So let's go grab, let's put this actually in the box. Let's go grab our heat gun. Okay, heat gun, take it, turn this on high. Have you done a cyber check? I haven't. I feel left out. So I'm gonna let that heat gun heat up for a minute. We're gonna pick up the corner, lift it off the glass until this is about 2 or 3 inches from the side here, so it's still anchored. And then we're gonna take it again, 4 or 5 inches away, and you'll see that start pulling inwards. It's a little hard to see exactly what you're doing, but we're just heating up the bottom edge a little bit. See these little, that's snap shrinking. That's all that is. So you're just tightening up that bottom edge with heat. And so when I go back, remember those fingers that we saw? If I were to wet this back down, stretch it out on the window, and simulate squeegeeing it out on the inside, this all now stays flat. So that's shrunk, and that's ready to install. So let's hop on the inside. Set this where you do it without the heat. I just used this, my dude. In great detail. All right, so now we can open the door. And I haven't cleaned the inside of this at all. All I did was put a door cover on, tape the sides before I even got started. So let's look in my messy drawer. We're gonna grab a razor blade. This comes off, toss that away. Can it be done without a heat gun? If it could be done without a heat gun, do you think I would use a heat gun? All right, let's roll the window up all the way. We're giving it some spray. And we're just gonna razor off the bottom portion of the window because all I'm doing here is I'm loosening up dirt. And when I'm using my razor blade, I'm not holding it like this. I'm doing a steep razor blade angle, so that way it's gliding against the glass. It's not scratching it. And now we got the top edge of the window. Sorry if we're shaking a little bit. It's actually not bad, but my whole body's shaking. Scraping that off. All right, so we loosened up all the dirt. Then I'm gonna take a towel. I'm gonna run it along the top edge of the window. Spray. Take our cleaning squeegee, and we're gonna squeegee it from the top to the bottom. Overlapping strokes. Do you ever get tired of explaining the same thing over and over again? No, because you guys come up with some funny shit that I haven't heard of before. We're gonna swipe down. This is a tri-edge. This is a little different from the squeegee that we just used. We wanna take this card and we're gonna flex it against the glass. So you wanna push it so it flexes and then swipe down. We'll spray it one more time. We'll just do it 2 times just because. Lightly spray, overlapping strokes, top to bottom. So what you're effectively doing right now is you're taking all the dirt and you're moving it from here, moving it over there. You're not taking your squeegee and punching it in the middle anywhere, because anytime you set your squeegee from like here to here, you're leaving dirt there. So you want to just be very methodical with getting rid of the dirt, and then we're gonna just missed that. And now let's peel our pattern. There's easier and faster ways to do this. Yeah, there is a bottom loading technique that is easier. But I didn't want to take out my seal, so I'm doing it this way. So, all right, we're gonna peel this straight down. So we want this to go level, about halfway down on the sides. Missed that. Then we're gonna pick up our pattern. I'm just gonna take my hand, scoop underneath, right where that liner is. That's where my arm is. We're gonna take this and we're gonna go to the inside. 2 hands. See, we just have it resting on our fingertips right now. I'm gonna start with one side, worry about rolling this side up, and look, that side's just hanging back. It's just chilling. Worry about this side first, still chilling. See, still chilling. Get some of the film up on the glass, nice and flat here. Roll up the film, and then we're gonna scoot it that way. Da, 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 da. And now that that's in the seal, you see how easy that went in there? It's because we're taking some time. We're not rushing, but we're gonna make sure before we go into the seal that this edge is completely flat. And then we're gonna push that in. And now we're gonna line it. We're gonna line it with the top. See, nice and close to the top edge. You can get as close as you want to the top without going over. So if I do that, my tint peels off, then that's a problem. So then we're gonna go back to our, this is optional, but I'm gonna go back to the pink squeegee. We're just gonna start squeegeeing out some of the bubbles. Can you try a VW? If I get one, that would be on stream. Can I take my car to Ural? Absolutely. Then we're gonna go with a little bit of a harder squeegee. Push straight over. Notice how I didn't push straight out the top. I wanna make sure I'm anchoring my film along the top edge and I'm getting some extra water out. That's cool. Then we're gonna go back to the corner card. We're gonna swipe up, and we're gonna go here, and we're gonna swipe up. Cool. So that got all my bubbles out, and I can immediately roll that back up. That is the Fusion Hybrid, and then this is the Fusion Pink Clean right here. Both of these are really, really good squeegee blades. This one's for cleaning and the initial push. This is a little bit harder, But honestly, you can do everything just with this squeegee blade. It's just nice to have one that's a little bit softer. Where are you located? Sterling Heights, Detroit Tint Studio. So now that we rolled our window up, remember earlier we just scraped the dirt? Well, that loose dirt would roll up with my window. So I just want to rinse that, and then we're gonna peel our liner out the window. That goes straight out. Then we're gonna mist that tint, because when we peeled the liner, the tint is dry underneath. Let's wet it, then it's gonna slide better. And I'm missing my shank. We need to tuck it. Aha! We found one. So this I like to use for tucking. I don't know if I even cut my pattern long enough to need to tuck it, but we're gonna start with one corner here. And we're just gonna get this up on the glass. We would pull back our seal, but that is so far down, who cares? We're gonna shift that over. Same thing with this side. We're gonna shift this over. Ford Explorers, they put their seals so far down. It doesn't even matter. Then we're gonna take our softer squeegee, and we're gonna start pushing this out. Same thing with this. We kind of start from the center and work our way outwards. So we squeegeed the top, then we had this left, so from that area out. Now, I don't want to shove the squeegee all the way into my seal. I push it up to the seal, and you can use the edge on it a little bit, but then we want to go back to one of these. Tri-edge card, and we're going to swipe right around the whole window. See this finger? See that? See that? Gone. Ta-da! And then we're gonna wipe it off and check it over. And that's how you tint a whole window. The one window I'm actually not looking forward to right now is this one right here. This one is going to suck because this seal right in here is really tight. So this edge and this edge, I feel like they changed it. We have a slight border here, but all that sucks. Will it not hurt to go below the seal? It's always nice to go below the seal. When it comes to like Fords in particular, Fords just don't have very tight seals, and they put them so far down that, like, should I have dragged my pattern down farther and tucked below it? Sure. Is it gonna make a difference? No. I'll keep you guys posted. Wipe that off. So we're gonna get to that in a minute. I got my steamer over here steaming up a storm. So I need to peel my edges. How many cars do you do in a day? Like one. Like one or two. Honestly, we keep things really chill around here. I used to do a lot of cars in a day. I used to do anywhere from like 4 to 5 cars in a day. That would be sides and rears in most cases, and then sometimes you'd have a handful of like front doors and full windshields attached to those as well. So let's just do that. So up here, it's gonna be a little, I don't know. We'll push this to its limits and see what it's gonna do. So I got my steamer. It's brewing back up. So I guess I gotta wait a second here. I guess let's start with this one then. Are you using Tint Slime Ultra? No, I'm using Tint Slip. See, it's backwards. Oh my God. Here, let me flip it for you guys. There you go. Now it's normal. Tint Slip. And then same thing for this one. Here, we will transform, flip vertical. Ta-da! Oh my God. We're normal now. I'm sorry, it's It's like we're tinting on a whole different side of the car now. Okay, so this Explorer quarter might take me more than once. I'm not really looking forward to doing this. I would prefer to just cut this out on a plotter and see where that lines up, which I might do. Fusion's the name of the squeegee brand, yes. Let's put this on the window. Genuinely not looking forward to this one. Back quarter's easy. Back glass, easy. Back door's easy. Rear quarter, fuck you. Okay, I'm going to start with lining up the bottom right about there. We have like no area to tuck it into at the bottom, which is kind of annoying because on the previous one we did. Where's your location? Sterling Heights. Subarus can definitely be a pain, just like these. Subarus, Hondas, there's quite a few that fall right in line with this. Snap off our blade. And then we're gonna make the same type of cut here. Here's our cut. That went good, except for right here. So I'm going to shift this back over, and we're going to try and make that cut one more time. We have a little bit of room to go that way. Snippy slidey. Do you leave a light gap? No, that's what makes this tough, is I don't want to leave a light gap. Much better. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to leave this exactly there. And then we're going to trim this part of the window. Now to do that, I got to take a light. So I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to shine it through. And I'm just going to try and match that cut up exactly. I hope I'm down far enough on that. Normally I don't like cutting on glass. Plotter would be a nice try on this one to see how it lines up. And then glass aid just isn't going to be as precise on this. I just don't have hardly any room. So when I'm cutting on glass, I'm going to use stainless steel. Oh, I can't even see it. There we go. Right there. And cross our fingers. Is 5% and limo the same thing? Yes, it is. Except there is a 2%. So you could go even darker. So let's take our pattern, straighten this out. Right like that. Yes, this is my shop. Round that just a little bit. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to peel tint and you could just scooch it in? That would be awesome. Okay. I'm going to shorten this up just a hair. And we're going to go for it. Will you hire me? What can you do? I already have people. The other thing is this has been subject to a lot of tint classes. This is my Explorer. So the tint's gonna stay. So I wanna make sure it's as clean as I can, but I'm already noticing there are a few little class trims on the inside that did not go super well. Seems pretty clean. Good. All right. Let's just rinse it off. I can't do shit. Then why would I hire you? Looks like annoying tedious work. It is. What do I need to make factory tint 5%? Add another layer of 20. So that's what we're doing right now. So we have one layer of 20 on this already. That is the factory percentage. And then we're layering 20 over that. There's a couple little strings there. So the only part that I'm really unsure of is this bottom. On the older Explorers, you usually have a little bit more room there on the bottom. So you just don't have very much room to work with. So I'm crossing my fingers pretty hard right now. I think we're doing good. I don't see a gap, so that's good. We slid it into the side. And then this little bit right here. Let's make sure this. Hey, look at that. We did it. Why are quarter pros so expensive? I don't know. They're actually made in the US, so like I know that part, but it's kind of annoying that the whole set is like 30 something bucks. But I gotta give it to Fusion for making it. This set is just, man, it's so useful. Did you not need to shrink the tint on this part of the window? No, with quarter windows, like small quarter windows, you don't have to. If they're a little bigger, sometimes I would shrink one like this. I've just done a lot of Explorers, so I just didn't. But it doesn't impact anything on this one. Make sure that's all wiped off. Hey, look at that. That looks good. Yay. That's the part I was worried about the most. But you can see, you just have very little room to work with on any part of this window. Did you cut the end off of your steamer? Yes. The steamer I have, which I forgot is running over there, so let's do the removal with this razor blade. The steamer that I have, this is a hose from a different steamer. And I merged it with another hose. So that's why we have a really, really big extension. So we gotta steam off whatever is on here. It's probably carbon. So it's most likely gonna come off pretty clean. I need to start with a section that I can just kind of peel. I don't wanna wreck my defroster. So I'm just gonna try and wedge a blade somewhere just to get a little tab on the film and start pulling. Hey, there we go. But warming up the tint is the best chance of removing it without damaging anything. It doesn't mean your defrosters are not going to peel off. In most cases, they don't. Oh, this one's so close. Do I have my gator blade on hand? No. Here, I'll figure this out. I just need fingernails to get this little piece. Hot, 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 hot. There we go. I got it. I got it. But you're gonna just warm it up and let the steam loosen up the glue, but it doesn't mean that it's not gonna separate entirely. But it depends on the adhesive that's on the window. So this adhesive is an acrylic one, and it grabs really, really strong, but it doesn't usually leave a ton of glue behind. So this one's starting to peel clean already, which is super nice. So then I'm just gonna work the steam back and forth rather than just trying to rip this off the glass. If every removal went like this, we wouldn't care about doing removals. This would be a walk in the park. Ooh, actually we're getting a little bit, we're going a little fast. We're actually getting some glue left behind. That's not great. So we want to just take a little bit more time now. Gently. Uh-oh, hang on 1 second. Let me see what's going on here. Sound. If I drive from Chicago to Detroit, would you tint my windows for free? No. Why would I do it for free? Everything was going great, and then all of a sudden, it stopped reading. Why did it stop reading? It doesn't hurt to ask. I know, but you need to sell it. All right, let me close this, quit, and I'll reopen it, and let's see if that fixes it. In the meantime, let's keep doing removal. Peel, peel, peel. So you always got to just heat up. Let that steamer do the work. Yep. Little glue, little glue. Tint off. That's good. So we can turn off the steamer. Cast this aside. Let it cool down. Don't burn me. And now we're going to grab a scrub pad. Interesting. Why not double tint the back window too? Wrong door. I need this one. We're going to grab our adhesive remover. You could. I just prefer to have one good film on there than double layering it. Hey, chat's back. That's good. Okay, so let's... Like how the shop's coming along? Thank you. I appreciate it. We're going to let the adhesive remover eat into the glue, and then we can scrub it away. So this is going to make sure that we're not harming the defroster wires, any of that. Takes a little time to eat into there, so, but it honestly acts pretty quick. So we'll just kind of loosen this up, let it sit for a minute, come back, and we'll wipe it off. In the meantime, we can work on the passenger side. So what do we got to do there? Windows rolled down. So let's grab our tape. What formula adhesive remover do you use? I use Tint strip. So that's this stuff right here. Learned how to tint cars from you? Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Vehicle is off, so we're going to turn that back on, but we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut this out, go through one more hand cutting tutorial on this door right here, and answer whatever questions you guys have. Should I buy tint from Amazon? You can buy tint from Amazon, but Amazon really isn't. No reputable brands have their tint on Amazon. Tint is one of those difficult to learn things, and a lot of tints look very similar, especially if you haven't ever looked at tint before. So they can sell you a really cheap film and jack up the prices on it, and you wouldn't know because you bought it on Amazon. Any professional shop, they're gonna go through a distributor. Okay, so let's grab our sprayer over here. Again, we gotta turn those off. Are you self-taught? No. No, I learned with somebody over the course of a summertime, which was really helpful, and I've tinted with a bunch of different people. So I've usually been around other people. It's gone back and forth, though. Around some people.
You're self-improved, not self-taught.
Yeah, that. Okay, so let's take our 20%. We're gonna line up the bottom of that right along the window. We'll pull this one down farther so we tuck it. We think. But most windows, I'm only gonna pull down this far. That's gonna get you tucked into seal on most windows and be completely fine. On a Ford, you have to go down much farther, but they're not a problem vehicle. So I wouldn't really worry about it. Okay, first click, we're gonna go towards the top here, about an inch down, poke in, make this angled cut all the way down. Tear away, slide this over, go over about 1/4 of an inch, go back to this side, opposite, make that cut, tear away, slide over, and then we're gonna slide this down. So this is where I would stop on most windows, but since our seal is much farther down, let's pull this down even farther. That should probably get us below that seal. If it doesn't, whew, Ford, you crazy. I thought tint went on the inside. You thought wrong. All right, so for all your blades too, after you make a couple cuts, you're gonna wanna snap off the end. So that way when you go to make another cut, your blade is nice and sharp. Hold it same angle. We used about that much blade poking out. I feel like you play Valorant. I haven't touched video games in a while. I don't know what to play anymore. Maybe if Skyrim ever comes out with a sequel. I want to personally thank you. I'm an OG fan. Oh, damn. Now I run my own tinting business. Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome. I love Skyrim. It's a good one. It's hard to beat. Everything else felt like bland after you play that game. But that game came out in like 2011. Basically when I made my channel. Have you played Elden Ring? No, I was never into like the Dark Souls series. It's a little more brutal than I like. What was it? Breath of the Wild? I played that one. That one was fun. But I just couldn't get into the sequel. Anyways, so we're gonna round these off. Looking good. There we go. Pull this up. And now we're gonna put it over to the other side. Grab our heat gun. You know, I'm the type of person now that'll watch some videos about it and not actually play it because time. Also, like the it's too frustrating. All right, let's sweep that out a little bit. Why is my heat gun like this? Tie this. We're doing an Explorer right now. We're doing the rear half of this. So, snap shrink, lift this up. Heat right near the bottom until that pulls inwards. There we go. So that's ready to install now. Everything's cut to size. Last thing we need to do is put a door cover on and then scrape, and then we'll install it. Why don't you use a plotter? I do use a plotter, just not all the time. Doors, on average, you're gonna get way more precise. Like when you're hand cutting doors, you're tailor fitting them to the doors. Plotters work well, but I'm never super happy with all the patterns. All right, so let's roll this up. Now we need a razor blade. Let's find that razor blade. Yeah, look, I've got a Graphtec right here with software. Like, I like them. I'm just not going to use them on everything. Let's pick and choose my battles. Where's the door cover from? 313tint.com. This is called Panel Guard. Oh. Shit. Tint class mobile. Yep, this is tinted. So we're gonna take that off. ASAP. Whoever did this in the class actually did an awesome job. Except for right here. I don't know what this is. Maybe that was just to check it. Sometimes you don't count on it being tinted. So this is what happens if you're This is what happens if you're impatient. Back window, yes. Doors, no. This is, so we use this for the tint class too. So I didn't know that the door was not, or the door was tinted already. So if you're impatient, rip that right off the window. And then we're gonna use soapy water. For the back window, we use adhesive remover because we have defrosters. But anytime I can use a razor blade, I'm gonna use that instead. And the soapy water just helps keep everything together. So instead of it being all droopy, it kind of sticks in little clumps, which is nice. Baby shampoo? No. We use tint slip. We're wearing out this blade. We gotta go grab a new one. I work in a corporate facility. Your place looks way nicer. Good. Because we put a lot into it. You don't like using a razor tool? No. It's, for me, it's personal preference. They're good until you have to change out the blades. So I want to say somewhere in here we had a razor blade holder. Somewhere around here we have a couple of them. But I know a lot of people do. I got so used to just throwing razors away that I'm the type of person just to hold onto it really tight. And then for the sides, I'm going to use my knife anyways. So I just didn't like swapping them out. Some of the holders have like the little side ejector, and that kind of scares me. It gets all rusty. It looks like shit. What's your location so I can get my car done? Sterling Heights. So this is at the Detroit Tint Studio. How much does the film cost for one car? Whatever the roll size is, like if you do it like a 36 by 100, divide that by 8. That's without the windshield. Do you guys still tint if it's illegal? So in Michigan, it's legal as long as you have a doctor's note. That's always the unknown. I'm not required to ask for a doctor's note. But on the rear, you can go as dark as you want. Front doors, top 4 inches, unless you have a doctor's note. Same thing for a windshield. So by doing this, I'm wearing out my blade here too, digging all this glue out of the sides. So as soon as I'm done doing this and I want to make more cuts, I'm going to have to swap out my blade with another blade. All right. We're going to do... Would a doctor clear me for tint if it's only for sensitive eyes? It's worth asking. Because medical reasons are migraines, photosensitivity, all that stuff. But a doctor isn't necessarily just going to want to write a script. I'm Detroit-ish, so it's Detroit Tint Studio, but we're in Sterling Heights. All right. So this is pretty cleaned at this point. Do you recommend plastic razor blades? No. I have like a gator blade. It's a plastic scraper. It works decently, but it's not gonna take off much glue. That's the major thing. like these types of things. Razor blades are going to take those off. So especially while you're doing removals, like, and don't think a plastic razor blade can't scratch up a window. They absolutely can. Sterling Heights is far from Detroit. It's only about 30 minutes. We're Metro Detroit. Should I have been called Metro Detroit Tint Studio? All right. So now we're ready to install this. Sweep that, and then we're gonna grab our triangle here. Is a razor stainless steel? No. They don't need to be. Those are gliding over the glass. So the difference is with a regular blade, like a knife, I'm cutting on the glass. With a razor blade, I'm scraping across the surface of it. So the type of metal doesn't matter when you're just scraping across it. All right, let's peel this. This up. We're going to start with this side here. We're going to get that on the glass. Make sure my front edge is flat. Take this, slide that into my seal. As long as that's flat, you have a much easier time trying to slide that into the seal. So just like this is overlapping, so we're going to pull it back a little bit. Nice and flat, slide that back into my seal. Line up my top edge, nice and close, looking good. Firm squeegee pass along the top. Swipe, swipe. Looking good. Make sure that that's stuck in place. Nice. Now we did a removal, so I want to be doubly sure that there's no glue there. Peel that away. Spray. Then we're going to take our tucking tool. Now this one I dragged much farther down. So I'm going to start, pull back my seal, tuck that corner down, and keep this edge nice and flat, and just kind of like shimmy it like this. And then it starts bunching up on my panel. So I'm going to go to this side and do the same thing. Corner up against the glass, pull back my seal. That. We're just going to shimmy, 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 shimmy. Now this is bunching up right against the bottom. It physically can't go down unless you just pick this up. So flat spot, get some of that bulk right up here. Corner, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Pull that seal back and just coast that down. Oh my God, there we go. Into my seal. Now we're going to squeeze this out. Once you get all the major bubbles out, I'm going to go around with tri-edge card. Just like that. Wipe that off. Check it over. Neat. Last thing, I'm pretty sure there's tint on this corner window too. Look at that shade difference though. So whatever was on here, it's probably a 35. It could have been a 50, but take that off. Mist And then we're gonna scrape all this crap out of here. Need a new blade at this point. I think I just went through my other two. I don't know what it is with this chat. Sprayway glass cleaner. For cleaning, Sprayway is really good. Okay. Razor blade. We'll go back over. I don't know what the deal is. Scrape this out of here. Do I have to hand cut this one? You guys gonna make me? All the way up. Reach. I need my super pointy blade to get up here. I gotta change this blade anyways for our cuts, right? You're using a plotter? Not right now, but I want to for this one. Should I? I want to see the plotter in action. Okay. I suppose. Hand cut. We hand cut the last one. It's gonna be pretty torn. All right, so this blade right here, I'm not gonna cut on the glass with one of these. This is a very sharp carbon steel blade. This just has a better angle to reach, so I can scrape better up in the top corners with something like this. I use these for flat glass, but just to get... I wish these didn't scratch glass, but you can scrape along it, you just can't cut with one of these. But they are super sharp and really good for freeing up your seal just a little bit. I like it. All right, so this is almost ready, minus a little bit more glue in some random spots that we'll have to take care of. All right, so plotter we're gonna use for the rear. So we'll hand cut this one here. But I gotta swap out my blade again because I just want to scrape out that glue. Trim. Set that aside. So that's all I was using that for. Yeah, it doesn't come back. I don't know what the dealie is. Sounds good. Okay, so we'll eject this one, and then we will grab a 90-degree stainless right here. Right like that. Put our snapper back on. to ask them why. For the most part, ooh, light. We need that. Okay, so we'll start with lining this up on the bottom, and then we're gonna rough trim. Just free up a little bit of space. Line that up there. Ooh, that's pretty good. We're gonna fix this in place. Where's our sprayer? Are you tinting the rear to keep the baby cool? Yep. That's the idea. My son was okay, but baby girl needs some tint. So we're gonna trim just on the outside of that border. We just don't have hardly any room at the bottom, which is really unusual. It's a very different style of quarter window. So on the rear quarters, no problem. It's that ceramic coated tint. It's ceramic tint, so it blocks heat, but it has nothing to do with the ceramic coating. I get scared to tint because I'm worried about scratching with the blade. Understandable. But you kind of learn what scratches and what doesn't the more you use it. Thank you. You got me into tinting? Hell yeah. It's supposed to go on the inside? It is? Shit.
I knew you were doing something wrong. I don't want to say it.
Do you wrap cars? No, I'm busy enough tinting. PPF a little bit. All right, let's make sure these edges, these are nice and clean. It's supposed to go on the inside. It is? Shit. We've been doing it wrong for years. How did I get started? So my dad owned an auto accessories company, and I was a detailer there for a little bit. Before ceramic coatings were a thing and cool and whatever. It was just cleaning cars. Summer job, tinter quit, and he asked if I wanted to make more money. I was like, sure. And so I started learning how to tint. I was going to aviation mechanic school at the time, though. Ooh, that lined up like fucking perfectly. So I wasn't intending on being like a career window tinter, but it just kind of went that way. The guys even joked about it. They're like, you're gonna be a window tinter forever. And I was like, fuck that. Oh, here we are. But while I was going to school, there's a lot of people that got laid off in the aviation industry. This was like 2008, 2009 is when I started. So like I asked some people that were in it for a long time, like, how is it? And they're like, it's bad. It's like, oh. So it's really easy and attractive to get into as like a beginner, because companies are always looking to hire people. The issue is just, 20, 30 years later into your career, when the economy goes to shit, they start laying people off. So then you have to uproot your family, move somewhere else, and figure out how you're going to continue to make money. So that's why I liked window tinting and just being in charge of my own instead of all that. When I was doing mobile, so I would go to shop. One of my best years was 95. So that was 6 days a week. Then I went on my own. But with a shop, it's a lot different. But we're also trying to do different things in the shop. So a lot of video, stuff like that. That's what makes this kind of stuff different. Okay, so on this quarter, we've got a nice border. So if you want to check this out real quick. See that edge you got on the inside? I got plenty of room to tuck this. So that's what makes these a lot easier. Same thing with the back windows here. Much easier to tuck. So when I have those types of tolerances, I'm much more likely to use a plotter. So as long as my machine or my patterns are good enough, I'm going to be able to clear that no problem. I don't know what roll this is. Let's find out. This is Pro Classic 5%. So this was from yesterday. That needs to go back. And then we need Pro Nano. What should we do? Should we do 36-inch roll? Pro Nano 5? Oh, this is 50. I was going to say, the 5% just like fell out at me. Let's grab this one. Do you like what you're using versus Expel? Oh, yeah, for sure. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be using it. Okay, so let's take our film roll. We're going to load it onto the machine. So we need to feed the film. I'm going to push that aside through here. So this is a Graphtec FC 9000. We're using Core software. So I'm going to take a minute to load our patterns up. But I need to first swap out this. Oh, let me do this first. Push that button. It's going to set itself up. Good. I was making sure it was actually ready. Okay, let's. Can you guys see this okay? Fancy pants, Rich McGee over here. Okay, cool. So we'll give you guys a little plotter rundown. So we're gonna search. We gotta pull up a 23 Ford. I love that it's got, you can just type in a letter. Explorer. All trims. Open vehicle. And then, see, rear ports. They don't even call them quarters. These are quarters. These ones here are ports. So we're going to click on both the, let's get rid of this cupboard. That one. We're going to click on these. And then we need the back window. So that's going to put it onto my cupboard. Click go to cupboard. And this is what we're left with. So we can Tetris these. So back window is going to go here. Quarter window is going to go there. Now, if I tilt these, I can still shrink it at a little bit of an angle. I just can't shrink them too much if I lean them too far. So this is a 36-inch roll, so that's all correct. One last thing that I have to do is hopefully settings are going to be correct. Right now we're on condition 1. We're going to go, it's been a minute. Enter condition 2. So we're going to take this blade out. That comes out. And the one we marked with tape, this one, is our ceramic blade. So what's nice about this machine is you can have multiple blade holders, you can keep different settings. You can use the same blade for both. Sometimes it's hard to dial in, so it's perfect. And honestly, I would just prefer to have it separate. So I did it. So we're gonna go click cut. How much does this machine cost? This one was like $7,500, something like that. Cross our fingers that everything's gonna cut and we did it right. When I'm streaming is when everything goes wrong. But it's a hell of a machine. I just have trauma still from sometimes the workhorse. This machine's a little bit more refined. So a Graphtec machine, this is made for more than just cutting out window tint patterns. It's great for it, but you could cut out hundreds of thousands of stickers. Let me move a couple things, and then we'll get this over here. You need to improve your fitting skills. What do you mean? Like adjusting patterns so they actually line up nicely? I had space. What do you recommend for a plotter that isn't $7,000? Workhorse 1. That's gonna be it's gonna be like 15 or 1,800 bucks, something like that. It's not going to be as nice of a machine, but I have the Workhorse 1 or Workhorse 2 sitting over there. Okay, so now we're going to take our knife. We're going to trim out some of these. For a back window, I'm going to leave some of the excess still there. I just had my back window removed and they messed up my defrosters. Ouch. Nesting will align the... Core doesn't have nesting features. And I know, good God, that's not super pretty. But you know what? I didn't want to tilt my quarter window a fuck ton. Because I was going to shrink it still on the top and the bottom. So I just tilted it a little bit. I could have done both, though. All right, let's see if our settings are actually okay, or if we need to adjust. This is 5% Pro Nano Ceramic. Should be good. You don't need to shrink them. I like to shrink them a little bit. Don't hate me because I'm going to shrink my quarters just a bit. We should up our pressure just a little bit. I think it's like a Pro Nano thing. We're getting some snags in this area, which is concerning. Uh-oh, we're gonna get a dick measuring contest for shrinking windows here. Shrinkage depends on the temperature of your shop. Oh, I gotta figure out which side's which. That's the other fun thing, too. This one should be for the other side, then. Because that's what it looks like. Oh. Huh? Ah, there it is. That's what I wanted to line up. Okay, so this one, totally fine to shrink on those edges. On the other one, yeah, it's kind of tilted. Does your program cut the windshields accurately? I don't trust any software to do windshields. I've been tinting for 53 years. I know everything. There we go. We only listen to people that have been tinting for at least 53 years. Before tint was invented, I've been tinting. Damn it. 300? Damn. I haven't found a software that cuts out a windshield, so I just hand cut them. Yeah, same here. There's so many. When's it invented? I have no idea. But there's so many patterns, like so many different windshield cutouts, and aftermarket patterns for windshields, like the matrix cutouts, can be a little bit different. So like, all in all, it's just not super reliable anyways. Yay, I just want to do that. How about 1776? He was one of the first tint settlers. Why on the outside and not inside? Because when we drive down the road and we want to get rid of our patterns really, really quickly, they'll just fly off. We don't charge anything for removals. All right, let's revisit this as well. I forgot, that's why my towel is here. How do you remove the clear plastic? You can either use your teeth or you can flick the corner with like your fingernail. See, and then I don't remember exactly what year it was, but remember the Boston Tint Party when they tossed all the tint rolls into the sea to protest? Do they teach you that one in history class, or are they censoring it, calling it tea? The Boston Tint Party. I was there. Yeah, duh, I remember. I was there. How do you think I started? I was one of the original tint settlers. Oh, that's funny. Are your tint keg hoses on reels? Yeah, I took, what is it, Cox hose reels? And then I took off the airlines that were there. If I were to redo it, I would get some cheaper reels. But you can get 1/4-inch NPT fittings and just adapters and just buy a hose reel with like 5/8 or something or 3/16, whatever the size was, and just like swap it out. But get a hose reel with brass fittings, not aluminum. So it's actually not bad. It's pretty easy to swap out. All right, let's move this over here. We'll throw the quarters in, then we'll get that back window over here, shrink that. We gotta move the baby stuff. Stay. Same thing with this. I hope the quarter windows aren't tinted. What's a good plotter that won't break the bank? Well, what size bank do you have? One more razor blade. We're going through some razors today, let me tell you. What's a good starting plotter that won't break the bank? Not a massive bank. Okay, so this is the Workhorse 2. Get the Workhorse 1. The other thing is searching for like a Graphtec or Roland on Facebook Marketplace. Unfortunately, I don't see any in TikTok Shop. I actually haven't really tried to... I haven't tried to look, though. Yeah, we're on TikTok and YouTube. We're multi-platform. I'm using this way more than I thought I would. Okay. I tell ya, a vertical phone really gets in your way. I don't know how we're gonna do a windshield like that. Okay, we're gonna peel our pattern. Just air peel it here because we're nice and comfy. Let's grab our sprayer. Missed that. And then panic because I think my patterns are on backwards. Shit. Hang on. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna... I'm like 90% sure right now. Did I put them on the wrong way? Maybe that's why. I thought I had the right way, and then I switched them to the other side. All right. There. Ah, what? Shit. Oh, I should just throw this out. Did I just confuse myself? Is that what I did? That? No. Really? Ah, I confused the hell out of myself. That's what I did. I did have the right side on there. No. Rip. Hang on. Let me redo this. Vehicles. We'll get rid of those. Cut. Right rear quarter. It's gonna be like that. Go to cutboard. And then we can also adjust my settings a little deeper. Take this, delete. And we'll cut this one out real quick. All right, you do you, plotter. Don't worry, he's just an intern. Let's close this. We're gonna reopen it. Rip. Grab our new pattern. Maybe this will also cut out faster. We're so close with our stream too. I'm actually really happy with how everything's going on it. Okay, I just increased the pressure and now I got like double the snags going on. Explain that. How do I increase it? And then I got more shit. I guess we gotta change the blade, because that is not good. At least I got a pretty little outline though, huh? Hey. So helpful. Why doesn't Matt like plotters? Oh, because they don't always like him. Try slowing the cut speed a bit. Does that really make much of a difference though? At least we cut out the right one. Watch me fuck it up right quick though. It looks like an upside down pattern. That was my problem. Shit looks backwards. So we're gonna shrink this a little bit on the top, a little bit on the bottom. Our other ceramic rolls were cutting fine, and it was just a handful of times with Pro Nano. All right, get that. Take a pattern. Peel. Why do you make these videos? I don't know. I like public humiliation, I guess. There we go. Better. Looks really dark. Did I cut 5? Hang on. Hang on. What time is it? It's almost 4? Lovely. Lovely. Sorry. Can we just end now, please? What is this? No, stop making pulse. Okay, Pro Nano, 20%. That's what I wanted. At least we plotted them. See, when we start losing track, it's where everything starts rolling downhill. I actually don't want this, but I'll check it. Yeah, still getting snags in those spots. Kind of goofy. Does the tint shrink if you just lay it on the glass? Does it shrink itself? Is that the question? Hey, what a wonderful time of day. Didn't really fix it. You go opposite? Not really. There we go. And now we're going to click condition 3. Okay. At least we didn't get that far, right? No, we wanted 20%. So it was supposed to. I could have done it because it's mine. I ruined it.
What'd you do? How'd you ruin it?
It was 5. I want 20.
Oh, that's not
Yep. All right, so we were doing 20. I don't know why I grabbed the 5 roll other than we were talking about 5. And then next thing I know, I'm cutting it out on the plotter, and I don't even notice I'm doing 5 until I put it on the glass and go, well,
pretty dark.
why is this so dark? So, why didn't it work well? Because it's the wrong shade. It's called a big oopsie.
I'd like the live viewers.
That's a lot going on. All right. Can we start over and pretend we didn't just do all that? No? Okay. All right, let's check. Still snagging in the same spots. Lower speed, more pressure. Annoying, very annoying. Unless somebody fucked up my cut strip. That we're not sure about. See all those snags? You don't want that. Sure looks sharp to me. But we'll have to swap that out. It's not cutting through enough. Is it the blades or the cutter? Well, I sure hope it's just the blades. I don't see why it would be the cutter. But it's never fun when they start doing that. Because you get, see, you get to a couple spots and then it just starts snagging like crazy. It's a little annoying because we've cut a lot of PPF for that training we did, but we use like different blades and stuff for it. So it shouldn't have been a problem. That's why I wanted to keep different ones, but there's so many little, it's very small adjustments, and the only way you can really check it is by cutting it again and cutting it again. And so every time I'm doing this, I want to cut what I'm actually going to use rather than just sit here for half an hour with quarters. But so yeah, clean the blade, change the blade, clean the plotter. But it's good because you guys can see fun things about plotters that aren't fun. Right? That's what it's actually like to live with. It's just not. The more you use it, like you just have to force yourself regularly to use it. And so if you buy one, it makes sense that you would, right? I generally just use it intermittently. And so that's where, hey, I want to use it for this. And then once I kind of suffer through all the adjustments and stuff and get it dialed in, next thing you know, we're using a different film, and it's like a week later. And then I come back to this again, and hey, we got problems and all that kinds of fun stuff. But reminds me of the old streaming days. Eventually, things start working out a little bit better. But, because I came in today and I went to start the stream, and it was nothing but issues that I was sorting through again, and it's like, oh, this is familiar. Whenever it's tedious to cut certain things out, so that's usually when it's harder to see your cuts. These quarter windows, pretty straightforward, but the back window is, you know, you got the spoiler, kind of sitting in the way. I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So we can do these quarters along with the back window on a 36-inch roll fairly quickly. But the only thing that's hanging us up right now was getting those settings dialed in, and then my wonderful mistake. So let's take this over to the other side. Spray. Might be slightly out of practice too. But we're not gonna make excuses. Put this down. Heat gun. Do I got one over there? I should. I do. Name of plotter and how much. This is the Graphtec FC 9000. I think it was 7,500. You can check plotterdepot.com or anywhere they sell Graphtec plotters. It was the 60-inch machine. There we go. Now we ready. Leave that there. Hop in. All right, now let's not put this upside down. You know what? I'm going to be able to identify which side is up pretty easily now. As he puts it in upside down. Slide that over. A little more. Come on. There we go. Love it. All right. Can you tint in India? I'm not going there. Perfect. And this side too. Lovely. Stay. All right, so let's do a back window. Whew. One hasn't been cleaned in a hot minute. So, especially up here, that's always harder to see and get to. So that's why I say it's going to be quicker just to plot ones like this than hand cut. But I've got plenty of videos on these types of back windows. So let's get ourselves a little dryer sheet. Why did TikTok not connect? I like seeing him suffer. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, just quit, and then we'll reconnect one more time. What's that?
Oh, sorry.
Something I ordered?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. All right, one sec. New toy, new toy. This is another mount. Surprised we're using this one as much as we are. But this one should come with a couple things. Ta-da! And then I got a straight one here too. This one's a little angle. Nice. So I can take this and then front camera, and we can do ta-da! Wow. Amazing. But we'll switch it back to ultra wide. Put you guys right here for the back window. That's helpful. All right, so for dry shrinking, we're gonna make sure that this back window is dry. And then for this too, I'll usually leave this excess on, but because I feel like it's gonna snag, we're just gonna go ahead and peel some of this off. And I'll just shrink it without the excess there. Huh. Didn't, oh, a little more there. Yep, there's our little snags. And then,
Jason and I are out. Do you want me to lock the front door?
sure. A little wet there. What's the dryer sheet for? Dryer sheet is a waxy layer that helps you shrink the film. Why do you wipe off the outside of the glass? Because it was covered in shit. And I don't want to put my tint and dryer sheet on a bunch of shit. Okay, so can I sneak this up just a hair, maybe? Maybe just a smidge. Pretty good. Okay, so this glass is fairly flat, but it's got a little bit of curve to it. So now we're gonna shrink it to fit that same curve. So wiper, you could remove it. I'll take the extension cord and just kind of like wrap it over my shoulder, hold it back. Saves me a little bit of time on this. You could take a lot of things and just prop it up though, but. There's that. Alright, she's shrunk, ready to go. Why are you dry shrinking it? We'll pop this out. It's not connecting to TikTok no more. That's goofy. Why is it not connecting to TikTok? Why are you dry shrinking it instead of tinting with the tint damp? What? Want to open up a tint service? What's your advice? Been practicing for a month. Watch as much and learn as much as you can. If there's something specific. So many things that you can learn. There's the tint side of it, then there's the business side of it. Two completely different things. Have you ever used a wrap glove? Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm thinking of driving from Montreal. Damn, that's far. There has to be somebody closer. All right, so we already did a lot to clean this. So we're just wiping the rest of this off. Trying to feel for like any glue that might be there. Squeegee. Working with the plotter took longer than actually getting it tinted. I gotta go out of my way to adjust settings and stuff, and I just get in this loop of not doing that. That's my biggest problem, is I only use the plotter when I'm actually installing. So I took time to like dial in settings and check it, and like it was good. And then like we do other stuff with the machine and then come back to it. And then before you know it, we start running into issues again. So it's either the blade or some settings. I think I'm just gonna swap the blade and start over again. Where's your business? Sterling Heights, Detroit Tint Studio. All right, let's take this off the. Wah! There we go. We're gonna hold this at the same time now. Spray it first. Start in the center. We want to make sure all our edges are good. So everything looks covered, which is nice. Start in the center though, and just kind of work your way out. Back hatches are lovely though. Was the dryer sheet so you could shrink it without the back window slipping off? Kinda. Not exactly, but kind of. So if you try and shrink a back window and you don't put anything on the back window, it's really tough to shrink it. So what the dryer sheet does is it acts kind of like a tack paper, but it also allows the film to kind of float. So it all can shrink nice and evenly where you want it to. And then when you press or smooth the film forward, it's going to tack. So it's just kind of, all right, let's switch this back now. Front camera. It's a mix of doing those types of things. So when I got into tinting, that's what people are already doing. So I just followed along with that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come up with that myself. All right, and we'll flip this one back. It's weird. I don't really understand what is going on with this. Where's OBS? There it is. And then we're gonna... There. So now we're gonna wrap this up. Is it far from Florida? Annoyingly far from Florida. We just want to take a vacation. But we're like annoyingly far from most things that are fun. But this was cool. So for most of this, I just left this here. A little hard to work with, but... So you guys could see some of the steps a little bit closer and a little bit better, especially for like the hatch stuff. Made it a little bit difficult. But for the doors especially, I really like that. Because it's one thing to try and give instructions, but you really got to get in there, and it's almost impossible to step out of the way. Every little step is like you're right here in line with what's going on. This camera is rad. Yeah, it's been fun. What happened to the headset? I want to be able to, so social media. Vertical streaming is just better for short speeds and all that. So that's why we've gone to like the phone. It's just been better. So I've been working hard to figure out how to kind of combine both of them together where I can still do vertical stuff, but then give some POV and then try and do TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Because if we're going to stream on one platform, you might as well stream everywhere. So this is the latest setup, and it's so far working out really good. I mean, the only thing that went wrong today was some tinting mistakes. Show the finished. All right, we'll do that. Because I think we're Done, damn it. Minus some cleanup. Can I tint your Hellcat? Yeah, absolutely. Hellcat all around with a windshield will start at $450. Okay, so we gotta close up the other side. Let me get some of these extensions out of the way. Do you take appointments? Yeah, we only go by appointments. Let's make sure we're not gonna hook on to anything, which we would. No joyrides. It's not that exciting, trust me. You know, we had this one guy in a Pontiac, I think it was in a G8 of like all things. I'm trying to remember. It was a G, for the story it'll be a G8. I think it was something a little bit more special than a G8. But it was cool. And the guy was very adamant about not handing us the keys. And we're like, well, we need the keys to pull it in. And he's like, yeah, and then I'll pull it in, and then I'll take the keys to make sure you don't joyride it. This was at a different shop that I was at. And we're like, we're not going to joyride it. It's going to go in, it's going to get tinted, and it's going to get pulled out. And he's like, ha, 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 yeah, right, I'm keeping the keys. And we're like, okay, then we can't tint your car. And he's like, well, I guess you're not going to tint my car. And guess what? We didn't tint the car. What a story. What a guy. People be people. Retail's so fun. I tried using a heat gun to remove creases. No, they don't. They don't remove. You can only prevent creases by doing it right so you don't crease it. It's part of what makes tinting difficult, though. All the little things. Like, that's why tinting's worth any money. If it was easy to fix, if it was easy to change, your material cost is not what is so expensive about tinting. It's everything to make sure that you get a good job and the time and everything. What's the name of the shop? Detroit Tint Studio. But I'm sorry, you guys are gonna have to drop off your keys. Like, that's just it. we need to actually roll the windows up and down. But that worked pretty good. The tire shop I go to had an employee joyride the car. They crashed it, had no idea. I'm sorry that happened. That's really sad. I have no interest in joyriding anybody's car. I'm not as much of a car enthusiast, really. Can we just put this here? Oh, fuck. Oh, that was actually okay. Yeah, we gotta figure out a spot for this. Maybe there. I don't know. I needed a spot for like when I started the stream and stuff that wasn't weird. That's not bad. I'm just interested in getting the cars done. That's what I'm trying to do. Get them in, get them done, make them look nice, and then call it a day. But yeah, no joyriding here. And then I could even hang this here. That's nice. Look. Why does GeoShield C250 look like sand after installing? Is there a bunch of sand in there? Where did you put it? And what did you do? Because it shouldn't look like sand. I install 50% often enough. How much front and back lights? I don't do headlights or taillights. Are you the owner? Yeah, it's my shop. Okay, so now TikTok's working. This makes no sense. I gotta message their chat, because this chat is working really well. So we gotta troubleshoot this, because this is the final piece, and then everything, I think everything's good. Alrighty. Well, it's later than I thought. This is the end result here. So now we've got 20 ceramic over the 20, so that's 5 on the back. And then I've got 35 on the front, and then 50 on the windshield. So angles really matter. So if you're looking in, it looks fairly dark, except 50, you'll still be able to see who's driving. Adds a little bit of shade. That looks fairly dark, but when you're looking directly through, so. What type of camera are you using? I'm using an iPhone, but it's on this thing. This is a Belkin thing. It's got MagSafe on it, so you just do that, and then give it a second. The nice thing is that you can use TikTok or any other apps, the iPhone cameras or whatnot, and so it'll go down, it'll go up. And so you don't need anything extra. You don't need like a gimbal, a third-party accessory, or anything like that. So it's been working fairly well. It's one of the best trackers that I've ever used. Because usually they lose you. But the only thing that gets annoying is like, if I go missing, right? Like, it'll stay there, so I could come walk around on the other side, and then it'd have to see me again. So it's not magic, but it works pretty well. Do you use ceramic phantom tint? What is that? What? Is that even a sentence? So I think maybe we're gonna take this off of here. We're gonna put it on there. So we gotta figure out. That's not bad. I like that. I just want like a starting spot that I can, there we go. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you guys for hanging out and everything. Hope the stream looked and went okay, because there's a lot going on here, but pretty good. Meta glasses? Okay, one more question, because I actually put a lot of thought into this. I tried, here, we'll put them on here, watch. I tried the Meta glasses, and the only annoying part is you can only record up to a minute, and every time you get a phone call, they stop. Other than that, they're really cool. Just have a really short battery life on top of it. Insta360 Go, and then I put a little bracket on the side of my other pair of glasses. So this is a better version of that. So it just sticks. Yeah, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, those are like the only recording glasses. But if I forget to take these glasses off, then I'm walking around with a metal bracket. I literally sacrificed a pair of glasses to do that. So, but I mean, with Meta, you're kind of buying a pair of glasses. I don't know. This works better. Longer recording, better quality, or at least like decent quality overall. And then you can just, whenever you want to start recording, you can just push See that little light? Deet. Now it's recording. So you can leave it in like your pocket or something, and then when you want to record something, it's all ready to go. Very convenient. Are you a Trekkie? No. Okay. I'm gonna sign off.